Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to check the HGLRC Zeus35, a 20x20mm F4 flight controller with an integrated 35A BLLES 4-in-1 ESC. In this video, I'm going to quickly go over its features and specs, assemble it on a new 5-inch HD build, and head outdoors and test it out. In terms of packaging, inside the box along with the Zeus35 all-in-one flight controller, you can find some stickers, a basic user manual, an XT30 battery connector which is pre-soldered to 18-gauge 7cm long battery leads, a high-quality XT60 battery connector along with two 14-gauge 10cm long battery leads which you will need to solder by yourself, 35 volts 1220 microfarad capacitors, and 5 M3 to M2 silicone grommets. The weight of the Zeus35 is 9.7 grams, so it's 3.1 grams heavier than the previous version, which is limited to 3S LiPo batteries, features a 15A BLLES 4-in-1 ESC compared to 35A on the new flight controller, and is mainly intended to be used on micro quadcopters. The dimensions of the Zeus35 are 40 by 32 by 4.4 millimeters, so it's a little bit bigger than the previous version, and in addition, instead of using M2, it is now using M3 mounting holes. In terms of features and specs, the Zeus35 supports between 3 to 6S LiPo batteries, and considering that it has a built-in 4-in-1 BLLES 35A ESC, which is quite impressive considering its size, you can definitely use it on larger 5-inch builds in order to save some space. In addition, the Zeus35 features a built-in current sensor and is using an MPU 6000 gyro chip. On the top right side of the flight controller, you can find the relevant pads for the camera and VTX. So over here you can find the camera video in pad, next to it plus 5 volts, ground TX1, plus 5 volts, video out for the VTX, and battery and ground pads. Basically you're supposed to power up the camera using plus 5 volts, power up the VTX either using plus 5 volts or the battery voltage, and use TX1 in order to set up your VTX either using Smart Audio or IRC Tram protocol. On the other side of the flight controller, you can find the relevant pads for connecting your radio receiver and also buzzer and LED units. You can power up the radio receiver either using 5 or 3.3 volts, which is commonly used for DSMX receivers, and you can also find a dedicated SBUS pad. Here you can see how it looks like after installing the HGLRC Zeus35 inside the Transtech Laser HD frame. Basically, I'm powering up the DJI HD VTX using the battery VCC and ground, which limits this build to 4S batteries, and I really hope that on their next version, HGLRC are going to add a 9 volts or a 12 volts BEC, which is going to enable us to use 6S batteries and make it more build-friendly for HD builds such as this one. My Crossfire Nano SE receiver is soldered to these 4 pads over here, which is quite convenient. However, the TX1 and RX1 pads are located on the opposite directions of the board, which is not very elegant, and I hope that HGLRC are also going to add another UART port on their next version, since maybe for a micro quadcopter 2 UART ports is enough, but for a bigger quadcopter you need to have at least 3 UART ports, since GPS units are becoming very popular. The biggest advantage of the Zeus35 is of course its compact size. So you can see how easy to service all the pads on the top of the flight controller on this build, and on this build it's going to be very hard, and you can see that everything is very tight under the DJI VTX. In addition, in terms of pricing, the Zeus35 goes for $57, which is a good price considering its features, and one of the main downsides of getting this type of all-in-one flight controllers is that in case one component goes wrong, you will need to replace the entire board. And this price is pretty good, since it's comparable to a similar rated 4-in-1 ESC. After testing out the Zeus35 on my newly built Transtech Laser HD frame, I can tell you that I didn't encounter any issues at all. However, as I mentioned before, I was limited to 4S batteries, and soon I'm going to release another test using 6S batteries, so stay tuned. So overall, I think that HGLRC got themselves a very nice product considering its features and price, but I do hope that they are going to listen to my feedback and improve it even further on their next version. One more thing before wrapping up this video with some flight footage. In case you are going to get the Zeus35 and you would like to mount your battery on the bottom of the quadcopter, make sure to get LiPo battery straps with a width of 15.5mm or below, because wider ones are not going to be compatible. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you will enjoy the flight footage, and as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notifications bell if you're not already subscribed. See you on my next videos, and goodbye.